Hi everyone, in my last video I talked about Agile estimation. I explained why using time units to estimate tasks, why answering the question how much time will a certain task take is a bad idea. And I talked about using points and a concept of velocity instead. I believe that velocity and points are better than using time estimation, but they still have a bunch of problems. And today I will be talking about yet another idea for estimating tasks that solves a bunch of these issues and maybe introduces a couple of other ones. My name is Gregory, you're watching Not Only Code. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's start. What are the problems when we estimate tasks using points? First issue that I always notice is that people try to kinda abuse the scale that we define for ourselves. Let's say that our scale is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, the top. Now, we estimate certain tasks and one developer says, for me it's between 4 and 8. Why can't we have 6? Well, we can't have 6 because we are not going by numbers one by one, but we have fixed scale. But this is a common problem and there's always some discussion around it and need to explain, etc. Another problem I see is that product managers try to abuse it a little bit. For example, we have a task that is an 8-pointer, and the product manager looks at it and says, okay, what if we split it into 2 parts? Would one part be 4 points and the other 2 points? Then we can have 6 points. Then we can try to squeeze in one more task that is worth 2 points. That's a bad idea because we're not trying to squeeze as much as possible. We do not estimate tasks to squeeze in everything. We estimate them to have a predictability, to be able to determine how much we can do. Another issue is that velocity is sometimes used, maybe not to discipline team, but to evaluate team's performance. One developer delivered 10 points this sprint, the other developer delivered 7 points, and they are on similar position, so obviously one of them is underperforming. But the velocity shouldn't be used as a measure of performance. Velocity should be used by the team itself to determine how much work they can commit to. And the last problem is that when we have numbers, we have arithmetic, which means that people will be adding numbers, multiplying to generate some kind of aggregated data. One such example is that people feel that a task that is worth 4 points will take almost exactly 4 times more time than a one pointer. And that's not always the case. We can't just say that 4 one-pointers are worth exactly as much as 1 4-pointer. That's not exactly comparable. The alternative to using points is something called t-shirt sizes. Basically, instead of assigning a numeric value to a task, we assign a size that is on the label of a t-shirt, like small, medium, large, extra large, maybe double extra large, and that's the top. In essence, instead of using numeric values, we are using abstract, non-numeric values. This comes with a bunch of advantages. Now, nobody knows whether 2 small-sized tasks are equal to 1 medium. This is not something that we determine top-down. This is something that we will observe as a team in the future over a certain period of time. We will determine that, okay, medium is more or less 2 or maybe 3 small tasks, but they are not numbers. Nobody can add them up. Nobody can split a task in order to lower the number of points so that we can squeeze in more tasks. The velocity is gone. At least velocity as a single value. We can't just add everything up to one number. We can't just have our performance is 40, 70, or 100. No. We can aggregate the data. We can say that in one sprint, we are able to deliver 1 extra large task, 3 large tasks, and 7 small tasks. Or we can deliver 2 extra large tasks, but then we only deliver 5 small tasks. We do not deliver any medium or large tasks. It seems like it's a disadvantage, but in practice, not having the exact number might be a blessing. Remember that it's the team of developers that should be making a commitment. It's the team that should be determining how much can they promise that they will deliver. If we have a velocity that is represented by a number, then other stakeholders can say, oh, you know, folks, you only committed 37 points, but our capacity is 40. So you should be able to commit to 40 points. But the team, for whatever reasons, might feel that this is not possible, that we just can't do it because even though the numbers don't add up, we feel that adding anything more will just push us across the line and we will not be able to deliver everything. So we're kinda forcing the other stakeholders to trust the team. Now, trust, of course, is built over time, etc., etc. But by taking away this possibility to abuse the velocity, to abuse the numbers, we are making it easier for the developers. We are making it easier for the team to make certain promises and to lower the promises if they feel that, for whatever reason, the team cannot commit as much in the next sprint. Finally, from my perspective, the advantage is that developers do not make up another number. They do not say, oh, I want 6 points while we have only 4 or 8. No, if they have t-shirt sizes, the rule is simple. Can this task fit into medium size? If not, then we just go up. Then we just put the large t-shirt. That's like in real life, right? If you cannot fit in the medium, then you just get the next available size. And with numbers, it's harder to enforce it because people know that between 4 and 8, there is 5, 6, and 7. Are there any problems with t-shirt sizes? Are there any disadvantages of using this instead of points? One can say that whatever I mentioned as advantages before are actually problems, that you can't have velocity, that you cannot add numbers, that you cannot determine precisely what is the number of tasks, the number of points that you can commit to as a team. Maybe the biggest problem with that is that it is harder to introduce such estimation. You know, companies, when they start estimating, they usually start with time, which, as I mentioned in the last video, is a terrible idea. Then it is easier to convince people to go from time to points than to go from time to some completely abstract units like sizes. That's why points are often the last step that the companies stay on. From my perspective, what I believe is that t-shirt sizes are a better idea and they are a next step, but not all of the companies will reach it, not all of the companies want to do it, and in companies where developers don't have that much to say, that they are rather tightly controlled by other stakeholders, this is very difficult to introduce. That's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this 2-video series about agile estimation. I will certainly go back to this topic in the future because there are a few more things to talk about. There are a few more advice that I can give about how to make the estimation process better and easier for everyone. In the meantime, stay tuned and hopefully see you next week.